The Jim and Terry Show's getting wound up in the hobbit hole.
Yes, it was.
Jim is trying to tone himself down after peeling himself off the ceiling in the previous podcast. Yeah, there are some things that trigger my good friend Jim.
Yes.
It's not that he doesn't have clarity of vision. How many eye jokes can we make out of this one?
Well, this time I'm going to let the
Calmness?
show actually
You're
be
going to
the
let
show.
common sense prevail?
And what are we talking about this time, Terry?
Oh, we're going to wander all over the place as we usually do, but we're going to hook it. Here's our hook. We're talking about an article that was posted, and yes, once in a while I do still, although I don't follow CN as closely as I used to. Once in a while, if I want to get a quick summary of the news, I'll go to the website. So here's one. CNN investigates. A fake recording of a candidate saying he'd rigged the election went viral. He lost the election, but he didn't make the call. Who did? Dun, 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 dun. So this is where we get into AI generating mischief.
Well, we're in a bad situation, Terry, because you heard last week the Biden tape, which sounded like Joe Biden.
Yeah, this was
saying
for New Hampshire.
Saying in New Hampshire, the people, don't go out and vote. I don't need you for this. Why waste your time for this? I need you to vote at a certain time. And it sounded like Biden. It sounded just like him, but it wasn't Biden. Of course he wanted them to vote, You
would always want people to vote. Get out and vote. That's your civic duty.
And so AI is becoming a problem. I actually know someone personally who got a call from her grandson. The grandson said, I'm in jail.
Oh, this is one of those scams.
Yeah, I'm in jail, and I didn't do anything wrong, but the guy driving was under the influence, and I need to, there's a bond. I have to pay a bond to get out, and I don't want you to tell mom and dad that was her thing, because this boy always told his parents everything, and he was a young man. So he always told his parents. They had a great communication.
So what are you saying? All young men sound the same on the phone?
She said he sounded just like her grandson. Exactly. Everything. It wasn't until he said, error. Don't tell mom and dad, that she said, no, you'd never say that. Yep. So she said, what was your favorite? When we went to that party and you couldn't go, what did we do with you?
Yep.
He couldn't answer it.
Yep. You always find a return question.
And I also know someone who had a pastor from that person's previous country call her and say, I need $3,000. He didn't. It was all a scam. And so we got to be incredibly careful.
Do you filter your phone calls more? Do you have any way of checking the number? If it comes up unknown or just a series of numbers, do you pick it up?
Well, number one, I think everybody who knows me, if you want $1,000, the answer is no. So, no, I haven't been too paranoid about it, but I am I am enough aware that if I get a phone call from one of my sons, they're going to be questioned on, are they actually my son?
Well, first of all, it should be the number. So if the number is not
if it's not displayed, though, I don't know what.
I don't pick it up.
Yeah. Well, usually that's the case. If I don't see it, I don't pick it up. But I wouldn't put it past AI to be able to do all of that.
To redirect from a legit number to an illegitimate number,
or just overwhelm it by the name being posted as opposed to the number.
Right.
Oh, there's my son, and then you talk. But quickly, if it's anything, I'm going to what's your second oldest daughter's name or something like that, Or, one of my sons that doesn't have daughters, what's your son's name? Where the natural answer would be, what are you talking about?
So you're advising everybody to just be cautious with these things.
Yeah, because it's getting
seniors especially are getting scammed.
Well, and everybody's going to get scammed. Those were maybe they were senior-ish, but they were really, really right in their minds and independent people who almost fell for these scams. So you got to be very, very.
Was it
vigilant.
scams on a? Dare I say this? This is maybe dating me. Is it a scam on a landline or on a cell phone?
It would have been. I'm guessing a cell phone.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm still old school enough to have my Bell landline.
My house still has a landline. I don't
Well, this is
answer
the one
it.
I use.
If you're trying to scam me from the landline, you're really out of luck because I don't pick it
That's
up.
why I use the landline a lot. And
I just don't
I
pick it
swear
up.
that's probably going to be my saving graces.
Yeah. I don't answer the answer machine either. So
I let things I don't know go to the answering machine, and if I hear who it is and I want to pick it up, I will pick it
yeah,
up.
but I'm sort of not the master of the place I stay. So
Yeah,
it's
right.
them. They have control of it. Not me.
Yeah. Okay. So my advice is filter stuff using existing technology. Use the answering machine.
Yeah.
Don't pick it up right away. If it sounds like something that you want to pursue, then you can pick it up. But always be cautious. I don't know. There's
No,
number
you
of
can always
scams
have
going.
fun with it too if you wanted. You know, you could if you know it's a scam, you could say, "Let me call you back."
Yeah.
Well, I'm not at my number. Oh, all right. Well, is it the number that's on here on the phone? Yes. All right, and that number, and then read off the wrong number. No, it's not that number.
I've seen people who challenge the scammers. Have you seen those on YouTube? Yeah. So I don't want to get involved in any of that stuff. Just keep it simple. What is it? KISS? Keep it simple, stupid.
Yep.
Which is, you know,
Silly.
answer
Keep
the
it
calls
simple,
you know.
Silly.
Answer the text that you know. What do you get? Errant texts
Oh
as
yeah,
well?
yeah. Oh, Terry, I am so. As I got into my senior years, I am gorgeous, man. You should see the babes wanting to be my friend
Yes.
on Facebook.
Yeah.
I mean, jeepers, they look like they're in their 20s and 30s.
Yeah.
And you know, beautiful.
You don't
women.
have a photo on your Facebook page? Like, what are you thinking, lady? Okay. Yeah. So,
Well, obviously, I ignore them all.
whatever your the number of followers I've got on Twitter, and the key is not followed by anybody you follow. And I think, yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
but they're all these ones that you sure are robots, trolls of some sort. Whatever they're after, it's obvious who they are. And it's the same for comments on Twitter feeds. And the number of people who comment who are real versus imaginary, that is an interesting stat too.
Well, the thing, like what it's developing into, and it's out there now because I've seen it, where they can actually get you too, picture of Terry, and put you in the House of Commons or wherever they need you to be. And you look like you, and the voice is coming from you, but it's not you at all.
Well, of course they can, because you and I do podcasts, so they got a sample of our voices.
Oh, absolutely.
And then they can do whatever they want because we post. I don't know about you, but in my music site, there's a bio, and I have a picture.
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't.
You know what? I mean, we can go all nuts with it.
Paranoid and hide in our hobbit hole.
Well, just be
And
careful.
never come out.
If any family member or a friend wants something from you, it sounds unusual. I mean, I'm not saying, can you look after my dog for the week? I'm not talking about that. But if they're, I'm in jail or I'm in Cairo or whatever, just take caution. They will understand
Common
if you
sense.
start questioning. What's your husband's name? How many grandchildren do you have?
How do I verify and
Yeah.
authenticate the person
Yeah.
that I'm speaking
Yeah.
to?
Yeah.
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 Very, very important.
Yeah, I got the $1,500. Come on to the house right now. It's right here. I got it. Come on. I know where you live.
Anybody who
You're just-
knows you and me.
I know you live. I know you live 15 minutes away. Okay, I'll get dressed and I'll be waiting for you, and I'll give you the
That's
money.
right. Come to the end of the drive
Yeah.
where I'll be waiting with my
Yeah.
gun that is
Yeah.
forbidden.
Well,
Okay.
but then you hear all the excuses. Well, I'm not at home right now. Where are you? How far are you away? I'm in Texas. Well, you never told me you're going to Texas. I mean, didn't I just have breakfast with you? You know?
Yes. Yes, trolling of any form, whether it's texting, whether it's scamming on the internet, Facebook, or a political scam, as in misrepresenting a politician, which is where we started with this thing, a fake campaign ad that misrepresented somebody saying something that they didn't say. It wasn't them. They can prove it's not them, but the election already was swung, and the guy didn't get elected because of the scam. Who's going to do that kind of stuff? Well, this guy, in this particular case that I'm referring to, the politician was in, I'm going to say Hungary, but I'm not sure that it's Hungary. It's in one of those states there. The guy was a pro-NATO, anti-Putin. So you know who's doing the scamming. But if you don't get it ahead of time, and I guess the FBI, was it CIA? No, it's
CIA.
FBI. Christopher Wray was also this past week warning China's up to no
I
good.
was just
in
going
a
to say, you got to
big
mention
way.
China.
Well, let's mention China in a couple of ways, and China in support of the Conservative Party of Canada. And yeah, so you got to watch what you want to investigate because, you know, you are going to find out.
Well, okay, a lesson for all my listeners. If China says it's supporting the Conservative Party, it's not supporting the Conservative Party. It wants you to think it's supporting the Conservative Party so that you will go liberal. That's really it. I'm sorry, you got it. They're clever.
Yes,
they
they are.
know what they're doing. So if all of a sudden they're saying, "We're all for Poilievre," why would they be? He's the one that can't stand communism.
It's not that they're for
Or
him. It's,
dictatorship.
It's subversive. It's influence peddling on Chinese Canadians who are running in Canadian
So
politics.
you want to know the lesson? Don't listen to any Chinese leader telling you which way you should go.
It's not
or
listening
who
to
they're
the leaders.
supporting.
It's the influence peddling. It's the trolling. It's the let's just put out a fake troll on Twitter on behalf of
Yeah.
somebody, an MP, an MPP. We did have robocalls from the Conservative Party of Canada in Ontario last election cycle. I don't know whether you were aware of that or not.
I never got one.
Good for you. But yes, redirecting, misdirecting voters to wrong times, wrong places for voting.
Well, it's just flat out evil, isn't it?
Yeah, well, you know that I'm not necessarily sure about the word evil. That implies all kinds of things that I'm not willing to accept. But yeah, people do bad things. Is that
I
what you
call
mean?
it evil.
Yes, you call it evil. All right, so that's politics, and that was from Joe Biden's call in New Hampshire to the
I
guy.
think we should talk more about China, though.
Well, you want to talk? What?
Well, I
knowledge
just
do
want
you
to
have?
say, I mean, what their concerns are is when China's willing to go for Taiwan, or
Yes.
if the Americans get wrapped up in a Middle East war.
Seems oddly coincidental.
Yes, they're getting ready to affect all your water, your hydro, and your fuel.
Right, they go after the infrastructure.
They go after the infrastructure that can't supply the soldiers, which means you've now got tens of thousands of soldiers in boats that can't be supplied and sitting ducks. So China's very, very, very clever.
Now, this is in the digital world. Do you think we'd be further off if it was just old school analog?
Well, yeah.
You actually got to pick up a phone and
Yeah,
call
yeah.
somebody.
Yeah.
Remember the hot phone, the bat phone?
Well, what about if a general calls and it ain't a general? It's
Yes.
just the guy's voice.
Yes.
Nuke them! Nuke them now! We're in trouble. We're
the
in
direct
trouble,
line.
folks.
We need the bat signal up in the sky. That's how we know what's right and what's true. Unless the Joker got it first. Oh boy, we're screwed. Bye bye for now.
We're screwed's the last words.